What it is, fam? It's your boy Flobo. This is What's Up, Flobo, episode 108. Giving you a little slice of my life every Wednesday and Friday. I just want to say this episode of What's Up, Flobo, the flagship of the Flobo Digital Network, is brought to you in part by StreamYard. Look, man, most of my shows, with the exception of maybe this one only, is all with StreamYard. I mean, there's a site I use. It allows me to bring on guests on the show, add my own brand, add my own links, add my own overlays. I swear by it. I would say that I compared many different streaming applications, and even before it was the undisputed winner of live streaming, I use StreamYard. So do yourself a favor. There is a promo code in the description. Click it, get some credit, test it out, test drive it yourself. Shout out to StreamYard. Now, episode 100 and plus, man. It's funny because people always hit me up and they go, "Don't you worry about running out of episode ideas?" And I go, "Yes, all the time." All the time. But I woke up with a little bit of a spring in my step, and I realized I wanted to share a bit of my life with you. You see, I have two bucket lists. Most people have one or zero. I'm also a guy who does resolutions, so maybe I'm just weird. But I have two bucket lists. One that's overall, one I wanted to do before I die. That's what a classic bucket list is. But every New Year's Eve, I sit down and I write down things I want to accomplish for the next year. Now, I did not foresee certain events happening on the planet, namely this pandemic and everything else and the fallout because of that. So I thought it'd be kind of cool because every month I do kind of get up, or every 2 months I kind of get up and I check in to see how the 2020, the 2019, the 2018 bucket list is going. And I figured I'd do it with you because you guys are my homies, right? We've been riding together for about almost a year now. Flobo Digital, I guess, even though I've been on YouTube since 2006, like the very beginning, this channel really only started ramping up in 2019. So I guess you guys who've been watching all these episodes of What's Up Flobo, I think my mom has the most under her belt, but I mean, I think over time that she'll have a run for her money. This is my 2020 bucket list. I just say what I've accomplished, what I haven't accomplished, and things I feel like there's still time for, and things I'm like, let's get the ones I got accomplished out the way. So for Flobo Digital, the idea was actually to launch Flobo Digital and say, hey, look, you have What's Up Flobo at the time. How about a YouTube live stream talk show? What's Up Flobo After Hours? It took me a while to come up with that, but I do have it now every Monday night at 10 p.m. It's kind of cool to sit and talk about what's going on in the world. But over the past couple of weeks, I've been having some guests on the show, just playing with the format. It's great. It has a whole new set of problems, but good problems. Like, man, I wonder who am I going to get next week to be my guest, and what are the news stories this week I'm going to rattle off with them and banter with them. But it's been a blessing the entire time, for sure. So that was part of the What's Up Little After Hours every Monday night at 10 p.m. on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook. A wrestling recap show. I didn't think I was going to do my own. There was a time when I was going to do my own, and then there was a time I was burnt out with my former network and AfterBuzz, and I thought I was going to be done with it. And then when I was done with AfterBuzz, I was like, I'm done with the wrestling thing, but I keep getting pulled back in, draped in gold. I get to focus on NXT as I bring it and analyze it as a sports broadcaster, as a pundit, as a fan of the sport would. Whereas I still watch Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown just to keep myself abreast, and I live tweet those. But to do a recap show for NXT has been like the dream, and not the dream in like the big dream, but to be able to drill down with NXT and give some shine to NXT UK, which is a promotion that doesn't get the respect it deserves. That's been pretty cool. Also under the Flobo Digital bucket list thing, comedy movie reviews. Not quite yet, but there's a new show launched for early access for people, the Boisterous Crew. The Boisterous Crew are my Patreon subscribers. Become a member of the Boisterous Crew at patreon.com/FloboBoys. But not to make everything an advertisement, Flobo saw it on Netflix. That show, patrons, Boisterous Crew members will get early access to that show. So I've done more documentaries. I've done 3 episodes right now in the can. There's more documentaries, but there will be more comedy movies, more comedy specials, more things under the Netflix original umbrella. Okay. Also, perform comedy in a new state. This started the year before, last year, when I wanted to, or 2000. 18 where I wanted to do comedy in a new location every year. So in 18, I got to do a show in Toronto. Was pretty cool. I realized people love making fun of Americans. That's that's awesome. Last year, I did a show in Tempe, Arizona. One of the best experiences of my life as far as driving to a new location, a new state, feeling the vibe of a whole new city and location. It's a college town too. A lot of people get weirded out when I say Arizona. Arizona has some cool parts in there. And having brand new material work, which is pretty cool. It was a material that eventually became 10,000 Life Coaches. If you haven't heard that, that's available on Spotify. But I took the 10,000 Life Coaches set over to a brand new state, and it worked and it killed. A lot of times, LA-based comedians have that issue of like, will my stuff work over in Peoria? Will it work in New York? But I got to say that it worked in Tempe, Arizona. And when I bought a laptop for my DJ business last year, because I had to upgrade, I named my laptop Tempe just because it was such a cool experience. That was awesome. And as far as things that got done, New Amsterdam interview sessions. I didn't think I was going to be able to do guests on my show, New Amsterdam Radio. It's about creatives. We sit down, we talk about what it means to be a creative and your trials and tribulations. But I kind of got roped into it. Like I was content with being a little timid with my dinky podcast and just talk about things to myself. Where a friend of mine, Fraser Andrews or Fraser Solomon, she was like, I'm going to be your guest next week. And she was my girl. She was my one of my friends from high school. So she was like one of my homegirls from high school. And so I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then it kind of opened up the pathways to understanding how the show can adapt to guests, trying to get guests, and the show has grown because of it. So thank you, Fraser, for that. So yeah, New Amsterdam interview sessions is now the New Amsterdam Radio. And yeah, every once in a while, if I get the urge, I can always jump in and do a solo episode. I did a solo episode about my love of F1 and their branding of it all. But I'm so glad that I got to meet and learn from such cool people under the New Amsterdam umbrella. So those are the ones I got done. Right? Go me. Woo! Here are the ones where I have not done. And a lot of people say you do so much, but there's always some things I'm putting off. Like I have not quite made a living being self-employed. I do that all the time. Like I DJ. I do the content stuff, and hopefully I'm on the path too. But every so often I'll do hit up day jobs. I do hit up like short contract work to fill in the gaps to make ends meet. Hopefully, if I do well, hopefully if more people join the Boisterous crew, I won't be able to do that as much, but I'm on my way to do that. So I don't call that done because I'm not quite above board with strictly just working for myself. Furloughs aside, because I've been furloughed by so many jobs in this pandemic. Release comedy album 3. See, that was the lofty goal. That was the ambition. I thought because I had an album in 2016, Cookies and Beer, and an album in 2018, American for Now, that in 2020 be album number 3, possibly the last album, possibly the dopest album. We don't know. Things slowed up even before the pandemic, and doing that, I realized, okay, maybe I don't have to do an album. Maybe I can release chunks of tracks throughout the year, and that could be compiled into an album. But then with comedy clubs being closed, I had to adapt. So if you notice, in January, I did a little set called 10,000 Life Coaches. Just mentioned that. And in June, I released my comedy musical single, Alone in the Club. So it's still comedy. I'm still pushing that comedy aspect of my life, but it isn't like album 3 live in stores or what, live in stores, you know what I'm saying, live or in stores or what have you. It's just kind of just been this trying to make through what it means to be a comedian and write a book/novel. Yeah, not even started. I have plot threads, I have treatments, I have outlines up the wazoo. I just got to sit down and do it. And I know it's been something that has been bugging me, and I want to share that with you because I know a lot of creatives have a project, the Moby Dick project, the one that's about to get away, where it's like, oh man, how do you find the time? I struggle with that too. And that book/novel has been staring me in the face. I'm kind of torn. My first 2 novellas are part of an extended universe. They're different stories, but they're part of an extended universe around this family called the Neighbors family. And so there was a time where I want the third book to tie into that and have it go from California to Vegas to New York. Then there's also a thing where it's like, no, make a brand new adventure. You know, the neighbor's duology is from a different writing skill level part of your life. You've grown, do that. But then it's like, man, I can do a nonfiction book, like a self-help book or approach to my content. Maybe that might be more helpful to people. And so I'm just kind of like paralysis by analysis. So I haven't got that done. And the one I haven't done is buy that motorcycle. When I turned 30, I wanted to face my biggest fear because when I was 19, I wanted to learn to ride a motorcycle. I was a lot heavier then too. I endoed, which is when you lock the front wheel and the bike goes up. And I went over. I ended over the bike, and I had a huge like bruise on my chest because my chest went through the windshield of this bike, and I had to like replace my buddy's windshield and all that. So when I was 30, I decided to go back and learn legitimately, and it wasn't easy. I did the class. I almost failed out of that class because you can fail out of a motorcycle class. I got my license, I got my endorsement in California. I was doing private lessons to keep my skills sharp, but then the money got tight because private lessons cost money. And then I go, okay, I'll do it next month. And then there's that thing where you take so long to do it, then you start to worry if you can do it. And that's why it's true what they say about muscles and about anything you work on in life. If you don't work it out, you'll atrophy, right? So when I was in New York 2 Augusts ago, my brother had bought his bike. And so I went with him and I'm driving around. And my brother picked up riding after I picked up riding, and his skills were already better than me because he had a bike, he was commuting on it, where I was kind of like, and so that was almost 2 years ago. But if I had the means, if I was able to pay down the debt and which I have student loans, if I was able to just concentrate, if I had the money, if I had the time, and I had the means, an apartment where I can have a second spot, definitely I'll get the motorcycle. I may not be the best at it, but that's like the dream to do it. If I had my way, man, maybe it's the countryside of me, but a pickup truck and a motorcycle, and I'm good. For those of you who care, my dream bike is the Kawasaki Vulcan S650. Hey, what's going on? See, how's it going, man? Wishing you well, wishing you nothing but the best of health. And my dream truck is a Ford F-150. I will tell you this. I was in Florida in March. This was the new state I did comedy in this year. I was in Florida in March, and it was spring break. And I wanted to rent a car because I flew to Jacksonville, and my college that was going to hire me for a show was an hour away in St. Augustine. And the rental car companies were all cleaned out. Because spring break was cleaned out. And I had a choice, basically, at Enterprise. It was either pay $75 a day for a subcompact or pay $45 a day for a Ford Ranger pickup truck. Dude, I rode that pickup truck so hard. It was so much fun. Oh, man, I don't know, man. I felt like the dopest Brooklyn cowboy on the ranch when I was in Florida. But yeah, that's my 2020 bucket list. Checking in with you to show you that there's things I've done, and I'm proud of it. There's things I'm working on, and there's always a lofty goals, and I'm pushing forward through it. This is me, Flobo. I'm back here every Wednesday and Friday with this show, What's Up, Flobo? But I have a slew of other content just to get out of here. My late night talk show, What's Up, Flobo After Hours, is 10 p.m. Pacific every Monday night. I do wrestling commentary here on this channel. Check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/FloboBoys. And there's 2 ways you can support during this time. See, Steven says, I don't know if I have the kind of boldness to take the pickup truck. Man, it was great. I got myself a piece of straw out of the side of my lip and everything. 2 ways to support the homie during these times. You could buy a t-shirt or mug or hoodie over at flobito.threadless.com. That's FLOBITO.threadless.com, and join the boisterous crew and get access to brand new, never before seen content at patreon.com/FloboBoys. As for me, I'm out. I have to go for a jog today, or else that quarantine 15 might turn to a quarantine 30. Thank you so much for stopping by, Stephen. Appreciate it. We should get together soon, for real, when everything's all good and go and good to travel and all that. But until next time, we know the deal. Be yourself and peace out.